Hey guys, we're back with our next episode of Sryth, our fantasy text-based RPG. Last time we were doing Proving Grounds 2, which was a lot of just going around the streets of the cities and, um, doing some hero work, as I'm gonna call it. So we do have to go to Goblin Cove. We do have to go to our castle. So we're gonna start with that. Thanks so much for hanging out and joining me. Let's go. Yeah, so let's travel to South Trout Glen, where Goblin Claw is, and do the old man quest here, which I'm not gonna read because we've read at least twice. So because of my weapon, it makes it easier for me. Otherwise, this would be kind of tough. And then I still gotta come back tomorrow, so not fully done with that yet. Alright, let's go to southeast. Yes, I'm learning. To my castle. Let's improve on the upgrades I've made. Yes, let's improve the mist garden. Let's improve the minstrels. I still don't know what minstrels are. Let's definitely improve the larder. That's my improvements for today. Say hi to candles. Save my game. These candles resting peacefully. Lovely. What's my item encumbrance like? I have some kind of dagger on me, so let's visit my storeroom and drop some stuff, such as the dagger. Get back up. There we go. Where's the stuff I'll keep? I never know what's gonna be needed for, so let's leave. Let's go back to Hawklore for the Proving Grounds. An unexpected encounter. While approaching Hawklore, you're encountered by a band of rugged highwaymen. Yeah, I'm not paying them. There's something vaguely unsettling about the bold demeanor of the band of 6 highwaymen that have ridden in your path in what is an obvious attempt to waylay you. The leader of the rugged group moves forward to the company and regards you with a solemn nod. He promptly orders you to pay him tribute in the amount of 75 gold, so that you may be afforded safe passage to the region. Suddenly your eyes drop to the man's leather waistcoat. The diagonal marks that have been scratched onto the breast of a worn leather armor. It is an unmistakable symbol of Han Longax. You realize immediately that these bandits are in league with the notorious outlaw. Who is he? One of the most feared brigands to roam the wilds of North Broadlands of the last decade or so is the notorious and cruel outlaw Han Longax. In recent years, owing to his wanted status, Han has taken to hiding out in the remote, wilder portions of the kingdom. From what is believed to be a series of hidden bases, the brazen highwayman continues to lead a growing collective of bandits that prey upon travelers in all corners of the realm. It is rumored that Han is for some reason obsessed with finding the sword of Murzik. Murzik is a legendary knight and warrior whose magical sword is said to have the ability to slay demons. Murzik was the first leader of the Brotherhood of Tician Knights, known as the Order of the Protector. The legend of Murzik tells of 3 magical gems that gave his sword unearthly power. Before he died, Murzik is said to have removed the gems from the sword to ensure that its power can never be used for evil. Although he scattered the gems across the realms, he supposedly left clues to their secret locations behind. The most famous of the clues is a well-known rhyme of Murzik. Okay, well, we better write this down, huh? I don't know where my notes for this game is. Fan mail comes a dress. I was dreaming about being a Broadway star. To NYC. So let me copy this for my notes. Okay, the famous of the supposed clues is well-known rhyme. Okay, less 3 eyes to sparkle bright, a rusted blade to be, Seek the three beyond all sight, set sleeping spirit free. Path of honor, test of fate, a trial looms for thee. Go forth a hero, thrice reborn, set sleeping spirit free. Yeah, I'm not paying you. Your bold refusal angers the bandit leader, and the scowling brigand quickly displays the three diagonal mark scratched on the rest of his leather waistcoat as if a symbol was served to instill fear in you. Do you not recognize the mark of horn long axe? He says. You would show great wisdom to pay us road. No. Your second refusal enlists a hail of curses for the leader of the highwaymen. He orders the 5 men to dispatch without delay the 5 mount riders moving to attack. I would just kill them. Sounds like a plan. The mounted highwayman slumps forward and then topples from the saddle, landing in a bloody heap on the feet of his horse. You quickly prepare to engage the next of the ragged brigands. Okay. You exhale sharply as you position yourself to engage the next of the attacking highwaymen. And the next one. And the next one. No, they're done. If I saw somebody kill somebody in front of me, I'd be like, I'm good. Thanks for stopping by, but I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna be the next in line to die. But people, men and women, and everybody in between and on the outskirts, have this idea like, I can do anything, or that's not gonna happen to me. Like, yeah, it is. If you just saw it happen, why wouldn't it happen to you? That ego. As the fleeing brigand disappeared from view, you conclude that you will have to continue to let him go. Despite his escape, you take comfort in knowing that this particular band of thieves will no longer plague the region. Oh, he ran. Well, at least one of them was smart. Oh, I'm already an artifact. That's what he wants. Alright, anything superior we'll take. Common and sturdy, no thanks. No sign of more highwaymen in the immediate vicinity. You spend a few minutes checking over the equipment before once again resuming your journey. Just trying to go to Hawklore. Let's get my experience bonus. Ooh, last time was only 700, so doubled that, tripled that. Alright, well, let's get right back into the proving grounds for the next few episodes here. Maybe we can finish it. They were going pretty fast. The perilous streets. Okay, we're in camera view here. Yeah, okay. A cold autumn evening finds you enjoying the ale of Huntsman Inn in central Sear. Watching the antics of a card structure in its common room, the clever performer has attracted quite a crowd and seems to truly enjoy mystifying them with a sleight of hand trickery. You're intrigued by the spectacle, but something about the middle-aged man in the fanciful blue shirt doesn't seem quite right. Time and again you seem to catch him casting eerie side glances at you, and on nearly every occasion the incident elicits an involuntary shudder. As the trickster continues to ask for the common room patrons, you finish your ale into the bar of the inn. You're strolling along one of the Sear's broad central thoroughfares. The crisp air of the frigid autumn night is a refreshing change for the stuffy room of the inn. You've been walking less than 5 minutes when the sound of rapidly approaching footfalls reach your ears. You turn to find the performer from the inn running along the street in your direction. He waves his hand to signal you and he smiles as he draws near. Allison, right? He says, still out of breath from his run. Alarmed by the issue of your name, you instinctively reach for your weapon. Please, I didn't mean to startle you, pants the man who seems as to regret his breath. I have something for you. In one swift fluid motion, the man retrieves a bulging leather pouch from his side and tunic flings at your chest. The pouch strikes your chest and explodes into a cloud of silvery dust. Your eyes water profusely and your breathing becomes shallow and ragged as you stumble and collapse to the ground. Last thing you see before you're robbed of consciousness is the leering face of a trickster staring down at you. You wake with a start and spring to your feet. A pair of torches clinging to the far wall, bathing in a small stone chamber in which you find yourself in a lurid yellow light. The four walls that surround you appear solid, and your pulse quickens when you realize you can see no way in or out of the chamber. Suddenly, the lone figure emerges from the dark corner, and the far side of the room and bows. You instantly recognizing the performer from the Huntsman Inn. The man who followed you onto the street, the man who knew your name, the man who brought you here against your will. "You've nothing to fear from me," says in a voice smoothly, almost enchanting. "I need a hero of your stature, if I'm truly to put my newly acquired power to the test. And test it I must, for there is a precious little time for what I need to achieve." A vicious snarl to your left snaps your head in that direction. You're shocked to discover a large black wolf stalking out of the shadows. You're certain that this creature is an elaborate illusion crafted by your mysterious captor, but the fact is all of little consolation, as it does nothing to lessen the danger it presents. With its hackles raised and its teeth bared, the wolf bounds across this chamber and leaps at you. Oh, jeez. "Well done," claims the man, oddly enough, the congratulatory tone of his voice seems genuine. "This will be better than I could ever imagine." You turn to start to cross the chamber toward the mysterious illusionist, determined to get to the bottom of this matter by any means necessary. However, you've taken less than 3 steps when the clanking of metal armor reaches your ears. Out of the shadows on your right steps a fully armored goblin warrior. The cave goblin thrusts a stone-tipped spear at you and quickly moves in for the attack. You'll sense another illusion and another brutal melee about to ensue. "Impressive, singularly impressive," cries the illusionist. "This is all going splendidly." A low rumble precedes the abrupt appearance of the hulking ogre less than 5 feet from you. The menacing beast snorts loudly and smashes the floor with a heavy wooden club before stomping in a direction. "Just a few more," laughs the mysterious illusionist. "You're doing quite well, Alison, much better than any of the others I've used." The illusion of a forest troll, complete with blood-stained claws, takes form in the center of the chamber. The terrifying beast lops across the room and swipes at you. You manage to duck its initial attack and are quick to counter it. "Okay, I'm not your puppet master here. Perhaps something a little more challenging is in order," said the illusionist. A deafening roar with a small chamber as a towering winged black-scaled beast lumbers into view. The hideous illusion is that of a minor demon, complete with broad-bladed sword that crackles with energy. The demon strides across the room towards you, its fangs bared and its sword raised to strike you down. How come everything has fangs? Can we talk about that? I'm truly without words to describe this," laughed the illusionist. "You appreciate the next one, Alison, as I consider it the crowning achievement of my newfound discipline." A loud hiss precedes the arrival of a truly terrifying illusion. A mass of blue-scaled serpent slithers into view and draws up before you, its cavernous jaws open wide as it prepares to strike. "Invaluable, you are indeed worthy of praise I've heard bestowed upon your name." The illusionist steps back against the firewall and begins to rapidly fade from view. You find a small token of my appreciation behind you, he says, his voice trailing away to whisper as he disappears. "Please know, Alison, that there was no other way." You turn around in surprise to discover the wooden door now set into the wall directly behind you. Before the door there's a sizable iron strongbox. Inside that strongbox you discover a large quantity of gold, which you take. You open the door that leads into the street where you initially encountered the mysterious illusionist. Without further delay, you step out to the door and onto the street. Once safe on the street, you turn around and shocked discover that the building you have just exited is not there, and a broad alley sits in place ending in a dilapidated mossy wall. Weary from the night's events, that your mind still reeling from the odd encounter, you set to find a good draught of ale, hoping it will help soothe your jangled nerve. For some reason, you decide to seek out the ale at some other place in Huntsman Inn. Right? We come across that man, we're killing him. On the streets. Part 3. The notorious band of street thieves, Vulture's Curse, has seen fit to mark you for death, led by a gracious former knight known as Sryth. The group's shadowy agents quickly move against you, seemingly dodging you every step. As you strive to contend with this relentless and bloodthirsty foe. Let's see. Vulture's Curse, named for the wicked overlord of Seer who plunged to his death from atop the city's battlements in a dramatic suicide several hundred years ago. This band of street thieves has long been seen a thorn in the side of law and order, led by a disgraceful knight known as Sryth. This well-organized collective of rogues fiercely defends what is considered to be a prowling grounds for all perceived threats. Some of Seer's most notorious and deadly criminals fill out the ranks of the dangerous band. Sryth was a knight of Selbadin's famous gated legion. Sryth was accused of operating in a league with the city's thieves, deceiving and endangering the very populace he had sworn an oath to protect. Tried by the Council of Knights for his crimes, he was cast out of the order, but managed to flee into Tisa, where he took up hiding in the city of Seir. A man of great skill and authority, Trivitor was able to gain control of a ragged band of thieves known as Vulture's Curse. In less than a year, they had become one of the city's most feared criminal elements. Alright. First encounter with the member of Vulture's Curse takes place in the weapon market in the eastern sector of the city. As you are walking away from the trader's stand, you are straight into a tall, glaring, broad-shouldered brute flanked on either side by a man wielding wooden cudgels. Our friend sends his kindest regards. Who's our friend? Sryth. Okay. He smokes as you're grabbed by a pair of hands and hauled into a nearby alley. Before you quite know what's going on, you're fighting for your life against these three thugs. No. The three men lie dead at your feet. In quick search of the bodies reveal a small quantity of gold in the wood cudgels they wielded. Get the cudgels. As you step out of the alley, you're approached by a frail bearded man who begs you to heed his warning of which he imparted to you. You've done something to run afoul of Sryth and his band of thieves, he said in a hushed tone, as if he fears being overheard. They don't like heroes and like moving in and out on the city, and your reputation must have revoked him to quick action. You'll find no safety in the streets as long as he and his ilk are able to operate against you. Watch your back, friend. The man departs, glancing nervously from side to side. He slips off along the street. Thank you for the warning he delivered. You now find yourself suspicious of every shadow you once again set off on your way through the city. The city of Compton. One of the more colorful members of Vulture's Curse also has a reputation of being among its most violent. You are unlucky enough to run into the man known as the Falconer on a cool spring evening outside the gambling hall in the southern end of the city. A few people moving along the dark street scatter upon the sudden appearance of the lone shadowy figure that steps into your path. The bearded man nods curtly at you and slaps his hand into the hilt of the longsword hanging at his side. Suddenly the air is filled with the sound of flapping wings, and two large falcons appear out of the gathering gleam of light on each of his shoulders, the sharp talons clutching at the thick pauldrons of his leather shirt as they glare at you with menacing eyes that almost rival those of their master. Our man is displeased his warning has been ignored, he says, studying you carefully, and when it is plain you are not wanted, the courteous thing to do is leave. I'm here to get you on your way, friend. The falcon's perched on his shoulder. Oh. Take to the air and streak toward you, the talons outstretched in anticipation of sinking into the flesh. The falcon strides into melee range, and his longsword poises to land the first blow. Well, we got a skill, we gonna use it. You attempt to dissuade the pair of falcons from their continued attacks, thus taking away one of the factors that gives the master an edge against his enemies. The falcon, who seems shocked, the two birds take flight upon your command, leaving him to face you alone. Despite the sudden loss of his favorite combat ploy, since you are still dealing with a deadly foe. Oh, he's dead. The falconer is no more. As he exhales a final ragged breath and expires, the pair of falcons, who were so long called the master soar across the dark sky. You stoop to examine his remains and discover the following. Wasting no time, you set off along the shadowy street and resume your trek to the city. You have no doubt that the corpse of the falconer will be found by the city guards, and were certain to reach Sryth before long. You're sinking feeling that you've not heard the last of Vulture's Curse. Of course I haven't. Oh, my neck, bro. Next, the Singing Shield. The taunting of the rope tossed over your head from behind catches you completely off guard and sends the other patrons who occupy the common room of the Singing Shield in, scrambling for the door. And as the rope tightens around your throat, you struggle to breathe. You manage to stagger to your feet as you attempt to break free of the strong grasp of the unknown assailant. Unarmed combat, you valiantly struggle to maneuver yourself out of the rope that continues to tighten around your throat. Failure. Collapse on the floor, gasping for air, just unseen enemy releases a grip of the rope. Having survived the vicious attack, you regain your feet and turn to face your would-be assassin. Not now, but not one but three armed men stand behind you, wielding short swords to come through. They should have strangled you, because now they're dead. Now completely empty, as even the innkeeper has fled for safety. He wishes you well, smokes the foremost of the young men. Despite their relative youth, the many scars that really face betray a hard-fought life on the street. As the three of them close in on you, prepare to hold your ground and hope to make short work of the latest offering of Vulture's Curse, and the young man who spoke is the first to leap into attack. Step past the body of your fallen enemy and bully it in the a second. The last of the thieves lunges at you. Reach down to take a patch of gold from the bodies of the slain thieves before making your way. Quick exit through one of the inside doors. The fight in the common room of the Singing Shield will long be remembered as the day that many first became aware of the fact that the bold hero previously unknown steadfastly refused to knuckle under the city's most fearsome street gang. While passing by a group of street performers, you pause to watch the feats of the strongman. The abnormally large man hoists large rocks and bends iron bars, much to the delight of the crowd and the onlookers that have gathered to witness the spectacle before his multicolored tent. As the performance draws to a close, the crowd departs and the strongman, his face decorated in a rather fearsome pattern with green paint, calls you over. You approach him, wondering what he could possibly want, and when you are within reach of his powerful arms, he takes hold of you and tosses you to a tent behind him, as if you weighed no more than a child. You're struggling to regain your feet when suddenly the strongman bursts into the tent holding a studded wooden club. The beastly man glares at you. "All man pays his respects," he grins as he lunges forward. Before you fully regain your feet, he takes hold of you and attempts to squeeze the life out of you. You cry out in agony as the man lurches, crushes you. You manage to break free from the enemy's crushing grip. "I don't know how, since I keep failing." You turn to face the hulking brute as he swings at you with a studded club. Death to the heathen. Another minion of the elusive Trivitor lies dead by your hand. You make quick search of the strongman's tent and discover only a small quantity of gold amongst a pile of his clothing. Not even worth it. Confident you haven't overlooked anything, you slip out of the tent and quickly set off on your way. Despite the fact you managed to survive the successive attempts in your life by the members of Valdrick's curse, you can't shake the nagging feeling that danger dogs your every step. For you, the city of Seer, stand behind that double outer wall, and its protective embrace of Thaneville will become a place of grave peril. They're trying to kill me or something. Then we're gonna move on to Talinas after this. I don't know if I'm gonna make it all these before the end of this episode, but we'll try. A quick shortcut between Seer's northern and western sections proved to be more dangerous than you could ever have anticipated. After becoming lost in a tangle of twisting alleys, you at last managed to get your bearings, only to suddenly find yourself confronted by a gang of four-armed thugs. The unsavory band of men moved to surround you, fetching their weapons. Sorry. I just have an inkling I'm missing an appointment or something. Not if I did, I missed it. The unsavory band of men quickly moved to surround you, fetching their weapons to hand as they close in. Before you can act, however, a voice rings out from behind them. A fifth man, tall and broad-shouldered, pushes his way through them and brings himself to stand face to face with you. The grey-bearded man glares at you, but he says nothing. His stare is hard and cruel as any you have ever known, but it is somehow empty. Suddenly the realization strikes you. You're staring at the eyes of Trivitor himself. What? That's dumb. There's no doubt the man standing in arm length in front of you is Trevinter, the legendary outlaw, the tall man of imposing stature whose mere presence serves to intimidate. Yet in his eyes, tucked away behind the cold stare, you sense a distant longing and a deep sadness, as the face of the fallen. Your eyes fall upon Ellison, then, he says, in voice to immediate commanding authority as he addresses you by name. For here before us lies a true champion, one worthy the fight we bring, and yet such bravado has no place here. I shall mourn your passing. Killer. Trivitor steps back and the four armed thugs move towards you, seeming to regard you with newfound respect and good deal of caution. Following the words of this just spoken by the master, with no escape possible, you steel yourself for battle. The first of the armed men step into melee range. You dodge the first two swings by your opponent and then counter with your own attack of your own. Before your dying enemy has even taken his last breath, the second of the armed thugs is upon you, swinging wildly with his short sword. The third man steps into range wielding a stout wood cudgel. He is by far the biggest of his crew. As the fourth man rushes you, a thick iron rod clutched in his hand, you note that Trivitor still remains in the alley, watching closely as you dismantle his brutal thugs. Trivitor bows and congratulates you on a fine display of combat prowess. In a city filled with soldiers, I at last find myself an adversary worthy of consideration, he says. You may meet again, Ellison, but whether or not that proves true, by my hands shall you greet death. The master of Vulture's curse turns to leave, and you're about to start toward him when he suddenly reaches a knife and hurls at you with an alarming degree of skill. The blade hurtled toward your chest. Mortification. Knife strikes your invisible barrier and clatters through the ground. You're about to start in the direction of Tributol when you suddenly realize he's no longer there. There's no sign of the master of Vulture's curse in either direction along the narrow alleyway. It is as if he's vanished into thin air. As you make your way along the alley, you wonder if your victory this day is perhaps turn the tide against Tributol and his rogues. Although you're not certain of this point, you remain sure of one thing: it's unlikely that this is the last time your paths will cross. For nearly a week, you have no run-ins with the members of Vulture's curse, and you begin to think that perhaps Sryth and his minions have at last put you out of mind. However, as you make your way back to Seer, returning from a fair in a small village just outside the city, the country lane upon which you scroll quickly becomes the scene of an ambush. Simultaneous swings of several bowstrings turns your head to the left, where you behold a volley of flaming arrows arcing through the air. You scramble to save yourself from this deadly attacker's fiery arrows rain down upon you. The volley of arrows streaks at the sky, and 2 arrows plummet down directly upon you. You hastily summon your power fortification and erect a barrier of blue sparkles, and the arrows rain down upon you, glance harmlessly off the magical shield and slide to the ground. Your eyes scour the forest at the edge of the road, and any sign of attacks but beneath the trees is all still. Suddenly, the twang of bowstrings reaches your ears from the opposite side of the road. Turn around and turn away. It's another volley of fiery arrows arching the air. You're again under attack. Second volley of flying arrows streaks out of the sky, and 3 plummet directly upon you. You hastily summon the power fortification and erect a barrier of blue sparkles. Arrows rain down, and glance harmlessly off the magical shield and slide to the ground. Your eyes scour the forest, and these trees are all still. Suddenly, oh my gosh. And they're on the other side of the road. And then they remain completely still. And then they're on the other side of the road. And you remain completely still. Then they are on the other side of the road, and you remain completely still. Your eyes scour. Oh my gosh, how many is it? How many arrows these people have? As quickly as the assault begins, it's over. Not wishing to wait around and see if any more volleys of flaming arrows run away, you dash along the road and don't slacken your pace until the walls of Seer are within sight. As you step to the main gates of the heavily fortified city, you breathe a sigh of relief. Despite the danger you've encountered on the streets, you're thankful for the moment to be behind the smity's wall. You're not safe behind the walls either, so what does it matter? And beauty is enchanting, some would say bewitching, and her mind is on par with the elders of any arcane circle. But her only true passion is the delivery of death, a task for which she's well suited and also well compensated. There is none who have known me wish to encounter the enigmatic, magic-wielding assassin known only as Mistress Ember on one of her missions of death, and yet it is she, hired by Tributol, who now stands before you on an empty street in the waning light of day. Without a word or acknowledgement of any kind, your enemy thrusts her hand outward in your direction, sending away a massive wave of telekinetic force in your direction. Fortification never does me wrong. Your hastily erected invisible barrier swallows up the telekinetic assault. Mistress Ember, her placid countenance reveal nothing, moves in for the attack. Sorry. Love you, Miss Ember, but with her dying breath, the assassin who has never known defeat tries to impart something to you, but before you're able to make out what she's trying to tell you, her body goes limp and her eyes roll back at her head. You quickly search her remains and discover a pouch full of gold. Superior and well crafted. Let's begin. You finish you hide a body as best you can before setting off along the empty street. As you hurry through the darkening streets of the city, you come to a realization that by remaining in Seer, you will continue to face growing danger each and every moment. This is every indication that Tributol and his minions will not rest until you're dead. Staring into the face of such unfavorable odds, you wisely decide it's time to set out of the city. Running and seek adventure elsewhere under the cover of darkness, slip out of the city, determined to turn the streets of Seer into a distant memory by the first light of dawn. We don't get to beat him. We just leave, huh? Alright, well, I'm gonna end the episode there. A little annoyed about it. But maybe we'll encounter him later and we can kill him. Thanks so much for hanging out and joining me. Until next time, you know what I'm gonna say. Peace.